What's going on, guys? Tony Ivanov here, lead trader and founder of TradeBuddy, and today we're going to go over a video lesson on today's plays, mainly BLNK and NFEC. BLNK ran 180% on some Whole Foods partnership news, so we'll go over that. But first, I want to invite all of you watching this video into my TradeBuddy community Facebook group. It's completely free to join. All I ask are that you answer 2 questions upon joining, just to make sure that you are a human being. You're not a bot, you're not a spam, you're not going to post any virus links and stuff like that. Highly recommend you join the group. There's over 4,200 members in there now, all giving out their picks and tricks and best practices of being better traders. Not just day trading, there's swing traders, OTC traders, crypto traders, forex traders, and so on. There will be a link down in the description. Also, I want to go over today's winnings. So me personally, I made 466 bucks on the day. And then also in the chat room off of my alert on BLNK, here's Nicholas, made almost $1 per share on that one. Here's Robert, his first win ever since joining the chat, 186 bucks. That's awesome, dude, great job. Here's William, almost made 60 cents per share on that one, very awesome. All right, so we're going to go into these trades. Stay tuned. Alright guys, so we're going to go over the trades of today. Now, going into today, I wasn't very optimistic on the penny stock action today. Now, if you were trading on Friday, you saw that we had a bunch of failed morning spikes and nothing was really holding their gains, which was very different from what we saw on Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday and Thursday we had very big runners like IMTE. This ran all last week, and then we had a bunch of other plays like CREG ran up. You can see VVPR ran up, came all the way back down. CLWT ran up, came all the way back down. So, we had a lot of renewed momentum in last midweek, which made it seem really bullish. But then on Friday, everything failed. Nothing held up their gains. So going into Monday, I was a bit pessimistic. I didn't really expect anything to run as well as it did. And BLNK really came out and surprised everyone and ran up 180%. So we're going to break down, why did this stock run? What exactly caused this to spike up? Now, this was not on our watch list. Our watch is going into today, like I said, was pretty light. We did have DARE on the watch list because they did have some pre-market news, but you can see this did its morning spike in pre-market. And one thing I want to note for anyone who doesn't understand this yet is that if a stock does a spike in pre-market, you can consider this to be the morning spike. There's not a high chance of it doing another morning spike. That doesn't happen anymore. We're not seeing these gap and go plays where we have these big pre-market spikes and then at market open they continue to run. It doesn't happen that often, so I would just largely you assume that it's not going to happen. So DARE did a very nice move in pre-market from $1.08 all the way up to $1.45. So that's a very awesome win. I wasn't up early enough in pre-market to play it, so then it had a big sell-off at market open and then just faded off all day. And then we had BLNK. So here is the low float movers. You get this this preset scan once you join the Penny Stock Mastery Mentorship for free. Also, if you join TradeBuddy Platinum as a yearly member, you get this preset scanner for free. Now, you have to have a subscription to Trade Ideas, but it's like 90 bucks a month. Highly recommend getting it. Really, without Trade Ideas, I would not be able to find the trades that I do. So it has paid itself off many times over. So you can see right on market open, BLNK popping up on the scans here, showing that it has a 2.99 million share float. And, I kind of doubt that. It had so much volume today. Let me just bring up BLNK. This stock, let's see how much volume it had today. Had 59.6 million shares traded, and it says it's a 2.99 million share float. That means the float rotated. I can't do math in my head. I don't have that quick math. Let me see, 56 divided by 3. 18.6 times, which honestly, to me, seems very, very fishy. They do have outstanding shares of 19 million, so maybe there's some dilution going on. I'm not sure, but let's just look at this morning action. So you can see this had some action in pre-market. I didn't see this on my pre-market scans. I am doing a new strategy on my equity feed news streamer. So what I'm going to do from now on is, I apologize for jumping from topic to topic, but I want to cover this important thing about equity feed. So the one great thing about equity feed is that it has a news streamer, but one problem with the news streamer is that it can get kind of cumbersome to scan through it every single morning because you see every single news release. And I just figured out, I haven't done this before, surprisingly. I just figured out that you can actually load in some keywords, and it makes a really nice and easy list of filtered headlines. And you can see now with the filter, BLNK shows up very first. Whole Foods Market is providing BLNK charging stations at new locations. So that's very, very, very strong news. Partnership with Amazon, partnership with Whole Foods. They are installing their EV charging stations at 3 locations in Pennsylvania and all future locations. That's one thing that people did not catch on to. Everyone on StockTwits was bashing it for being a pump PR, saying they're only installing these things in 3 locations. But no, it's 3 locations and all future locations. So let me just bring it up for you guys one more time. And are integrated into the development of more stores when they open. So every future Whole Foods that opens is going to have BLNK's chargers. So this is going to be likely a multi-day runner. So going into the morning now, you can see it tried to do a morning spike, and then it just got stuffed in this 230s area, and then it fell all the way back down and had really no volume. So at this point, you know, regardless of the news, seeing this price action, I wasn't interested in it at all because there were so many other things popping up that my attention was driven elsewhere. YUMA popped up, DCTHD popped up, BRN, VVPR, RGSE. So it was an active morning. But then you can see the sleeper of BLNK found massive volume here once it was holding this 180 support. Let me just draw that out. Found massive volume and then squeezed up through high of day, broke out over 235, and then right at that point got halted. Now we have seen this pattern before many times. We have seen this type of trade where you have the morning test, it fails, drops down to support, holds it for, you know, half an hour or so, squeezes on up on massive volume, and then right around the high of day level it halts, which is a great sign. So you have to think about this in a psychological standpoint. What are other traders doing in this trade? Any short who was shorting at these levels using high of day as risk, if they did not cover their shares on this spike, they're now stuck in a halt. So they're panicking. They do not want to be stuck in a halt on a low float with great news. So after this halt, you can probably assume that most of those shorts are going to cover their shares. The ones that don't, they're going to average up. They're going to keep loading up, hoping that it's going to, you know, fall back down and they can leave the trade green. So this just causes a gigantic short squeeze, and all in this range, it was just slowly consolidating up against this 275 level. You can see a pretty clear flat top wedge. Now when this wedge was happening live, it honestly looked pretty weak to me. I didn't want to buy into this wedge just because you know, when this trend line was drawn, it was kind of like this. It was on that dip and this dip, and we broke this initial trend line. But one thing that we have to also take into consideration is that even though we broke this trend line, we held the 20 EMA, which is overall one of the best moving averages you can use when you are determining how bullish a play is. So when you draw these kind of flat top wedges and stuff like that during periods of bullish level holding, use the 20 EMA as your overall risk because you'll not get stopped out nearly as often. So it built up against this level, broke out over 275, squeezed up on massive volume, squeezed from 276 all the way up to 434. So because right now I'm on a cash account, mainly because of some weird issue with E-Trade, I'm working on switching to TD Ameritrade now, but right now I'm on a cash account, so I was being very conservative on my shares, or my trades. So this first trade I took on BLNK, it was a small position, like $2,000 worth, just because I wasn't too confident in the play. I haven't been too confident in dip buys recently. I'm getting better at it, but it is kind of tough to do. And I was really trying to get in as close to this 350 level as possible. We had this one dip down here to 351, and then didn't look like it was going to dip back down, so I hopped in at 365. And then, of course, seconds later, it dips down to 345, and I had to cut the loss. I could not hold on to it for that much longer. So I was able to cut the loss at 355, so lost 15 cents per share. I think on that trade, I lost about 80 bucks. So I didn't touch it until midday. A few hours later, I got into a dip buy off of this previous level of support from this area, 365. Here, because it was midday, I was a lot more confident to use more size. So in this area, I dip bought $10,000 worth just at around 376, and I took my profits up into the $4 range. So I ended up with that $466 profit. I could have made a lot more, as it did squeeze a bit higher. However, I didn't want to risk losing more on the day, so I just locked in those nice small profits. After that, it was being just very choppy, just because of how overcrowded it was. Whenever you have a stock that has $150 million worth of shares pumped into it, or not shares, dollars of volume pumped into it, it's overcrowded. And what I mean by that is that you have people who are in from all different levels, who are bag holding, who are dip buying, who are shorting, who are cutting the losses at every single price, that it doesn't really develop a clean chart pattern, and it just bounces and zips around. There's no way to play this. So, you know, by the time that trade was done, I knew that it was overcrowded, and I didn't want to recommend any trades on it. However, going into tomorrow, this is holding up against this obvious resistance at $4.30. So I am watching BLNK tomorrow for a potential move. I do think it is going to squeeze up over that level of 30 cents. And if it can squeeze above that price, we should see some volume and squeeze it up towards high of day at 470 and continue it higher. This daily chart is kind of weird. I'm not sure what happened all in this area from January like 16th up until now, but this does have history of being a pretty pricey stock, so we could see this easily, you know, break over $5 and test 750 and go on higher. Next one that I was watching was NFEC. This one didn't have any news, but looking at the chart, it had some very nice dip buys off of the previous high of day. This is a pattern that I've been really focusing on, and you know, I didn't get into NFEC because I didn't want to waste any trades. However, I did alert this dip buy in my chat room, so if you want to get those alerts, make sure you check out the 7-day free trial of the TradeBuddy Silver chat room. After the trial is done, it's only $37 a month. It's the cheapest chat room around, hands down. Other people charge $150, $200 per month for the same exact thing. I give out all of my trade alerts, all of my watch list, and so do other traders, so check it out. Links are down below. You can see the previous high of day here on NFEC during this morning flat top wedge was around this 165 area. We broke out of 165, squeezed all the way up to 190. We came back down and we dipped perfectly off of that 165 level. So previous resistance becomes support. You buy into this pullback using 165, 164, 163 as your risk, and then you take your profits on the way up. You can see this held this level, had one dip down here to 161, but I mean, you could have used 160 as your risk, you know, just to play it extra safe. And eventually this did hold this level, bounced up, it curled on up, pinched up over 192, and then squeezed all the way up to 270. That's a huge win from 165 to 270. That's $1 per share on a $1 stock. That's 62% gain. So keep an eye on that pattern. It's very, very, very strong. And those are the plays for today. So now I'm going to go over my watch list. Really only added the same exact things that I talked about. So the rollover watch list is the same. We have HEAR, CHFS, and VVVR. And then the ones I added this evening were BLNK, NFEC, DARE, and GBR, TOPS, and DCIX. So make sure you check out the watch list. The link is tradebuddy.net/blog. There will be a link down in the description as well. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sorry it's a bit longer, but there was a lot of information to go over. If you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like, leave a comment, leave a subscription to join the TradeBuddy family, and make sure you check out my TradeBuddy Facebook group, completely free, very good value. If you stuck around through this whole video, I'm assuming that you enjoyed this type of learning information. If you did, I do have some more things to offer you. I have a free ebook of how to day trade every single morning. It's the first link down below. I do have a lifetime mentorship program where you can get lifetime access to my course and my TradeBuddy silver chat room and my live stream. That's lifetime access. No one else in this industry offers lifetime access to any of their programs. I do it because I want to invest in all of my students and I want my students to succeed. So I'm not playing around. Lifetime access, check it out down below. If you guys have any questions on anything, please drop a comment down below. You can also email me, tony@tonyivanov.com, and I'll see you guys in the next video.